Most people don't know about it because most of the work, which takes hundreds of pages and thousands of hours, is in global macro investor and is kept secret for any number of reasons. People get pieces of it from me, but they don't know how heavy it is. That's why some people think, oh yeah, he's cracked some secret code. I thought, Jesus, I've written so much. I think I'll have to write a book about it all. That's a lot of work. To be fair, the everything code we made when it was first created was supposed to have ETH at all-time highs by the end of last year, but it didn't work. But it was right on the money for the Nasdaq and the SP. That's why I don't believe it. Almost like the point is not to make exact predictions. The goal is to give us a range of ideas about what it should do. Is it likely to work well? Yes. Bitcoin will be worth between 500,000 and 1 million by the end of 25. Is that crazy? It's possible. Though I think that's only a 20% chance. What does the 60% chance mean? The 80% chance means that the end of the cycle will happen sometime between 150 and 300,000. Okay, that's why I don't believe it, but let's check it out. Look around. It depends on how much cash we think the cycle will have. There is a lot to show. It's an idea. This is just a thesis or idea. It's not like this is the exact code to everything. People find it hard to understand because whenever I talk about Ethereum, they say he doesn't love Solana anymore. Like, no, I love all of my kids. I just want to let you know that Solana is about to start college. Okay. Yes. And I think ETH does better than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin goes up, ETH does better than Bitcoin. Solana does better than ETH, and something else will be the rocket shit Solana of last cycle. Who knows, maybe Celestia. Is it one of those that everyone else gets but us? I'm not sure. Something will do much better than Solana, but I think Solana is the best crypto to play this cycle. But Ethereum will do better than Bitcoin, which will also do very well for people who don't like Solana. About 70% Solana and 20% ETH. 10% of shrapnel, more crazy speculation. That's the part one don't talk about, because if I do, people will think I'm trying to sell something. So, I learned that the first time. So yeah, that has 10% more speculation like Celestius. That one has been gotten by everyone. People I trust are in the copies I'm making of other people. That's why I haven't really done the work myself. Though I know I shouldn't be taking such a big risk, I do because I trust certain people, which is obviously wrong, but that's okay. Because it's in the 10% of my allotment, but I'm really focused on Solana. Before I tell you what it is, what's great about everything. Everyone on crypto Twitter is in the middle of the curve. That mid-curve joke, right? Each other all day about what liquidity means. That means, is the recession, etc. It is too expensive, this. The code for everything just says liquidity in and I buy it. Is that it? When there is a lot of cash on hand, people are more likely to take risks. It's that easy. That's what I understand. You can start to see that ETH was in free fall at that time, but it perfectly maps liquidity and liquidity at the bottom. I thought, okay, this is almost certain. Yes, you do have a chart scheme that it all fits with. It's really easy because of the cash cycle, but the Everdeen code is the result of 30 years of work. But what most of us didn't know was that the world changed in 2008. We understand that it broke. The loan system is known to be broken. And since then, people like me have been trying to look at the world. It took me about 2.5 to 3 years to figure this out. And the everything code I wrote last year says that the use of the balance sheet and cash to run things has changed something very important. In 2020, I learned that the balance sheet wasn't really used to put new money into the markets. It was about making the money worth less. This means that the value of money and the things it can buy with it goes down, while the prices of scarce goods stay the same. Now, this is not the same as wages, since wages change over time just like business earnings. This is why stocks cost more, earnings don't go up as much as the value of the currency goes down. Just like with pay, these things belong to the rich, so they make more money and the poor get less. We had some kind of debt forgiveness in 2008 though, when the world went crazy. And the loan wasn't forgiven in full, only the interest amounts were. When they got there, everyone in the world agreed, right? Interest rates are zero, there was no interest to pay, so no one did. People didn't. They didn't see it that way. They think, oh, they made free money. That's what they do. No, they were just letting the system stay open while it was heavily in debt. Then, every government reissued all of their bills as quickly as they could for about 3 to 5 years. It looked like that was the best place for them. It was done by everyone. In fact, between 70 and 80% of all government debt is due in the next 3 to 5 to 30 years. For that reason, they have to pay for this stuff about every 4 years. Also, rates of interest tend to go up near the end of a business cycle. It makes things take longer. The Fed began to cut. After that, the balance sheet is used to value the interest payments that are coming due, which are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. All the time, they add up. This perfect 4 year cycle is the same as the cycle of US elections and is the same as the cycle of Bitcoin halves. That is the cash cycle, by the way. To make things even better, each cycle should be a reflection of the one before it. This way, you can guess what cycles will come next. And that's what we did first, and that has been working perfectly. It's kind of creepy. Julian Bittle, who works with me, keeps asking me, where is this going to go wrong? We don't know, sorry, something will go wrong. Time when most people are likely to be following this idea, that's what goes wrong most of the time. But it has been very precise. In a way, we said that the stock market would reach all-time highs. It was the highest it had ever been. In October or November 2022, we bought Nasdaq. It was the very bottom. We said that tech would do the best and crypto would do even better. That also worked in a way. We use the everything code to look at the crypto market's liquidity cycles and tell you what does well where. Well, Bitcoin does better at this point in the cycle. The first part of the cycle, crypto spring, because everyone wants the best asset since the bear market is still fresh in their minds. They're not sure. Then when things start to get better, the cash starts to come back. Once the difference between the annual growth rates of world liquidity starts to be positive, it will start to do better. I shared that chart on Twitter not long ago. The business cycle has a lot to do with it. The cash cycle is what makes it happen. I just thought that seems right, then I do some technical research to see if the time is right. That's what's making it go. It was just a lucky break for Solana because there will always be one breakout like Ethereum before it. And I had been watching the Solana story and looking at the charts of the Solana ETH cross, thinking that even though it was falling, it looked like it was going to break at some point. It was also falling apart. Then I went to a fancy private event in Utah put on by a small investment bank and met Toli. I saw the kinds of people he was talking to. I thought that was interesting because they were the heads of YouTube, Instagram, and Yuga Labs. This isn't a normal chain, then. It looks like these people know what they're doing. I also have a small amount of Solana. But then I bought when the price was going down because I thought this isn't going to zero in the big Solana collapse. I actually got started too early. I bought it when it first fell in June. That would have been even better, but I bought some when it dropped to $10. But the truth is that I was just going to an event when a friend I trust a lot called Colin Sullivan from Brevan Howe, the big hedge fund, and she started talking